Hello, my Biblio darlings, and welcome to Bibliothesia. And here at Bibliothesia, I bring stories to life through reading them. In case we haven't met before, my name is Mally, and thank you so much for joining in today's storytelling and deep breathing exercise and jokes. Lots of cute jokes. Well, the story that I'm going to be reading to you is called Mr. Funny. But before I read Mr. Funny, let's remind our bodies that we are here to get relaxed. So with that, we're going to do what's known as a 4-4-8 deep breathing exercise. And what that means is we're going to inhale, big breaths for 4 counts. Then we're going to hold the breath for 4 counts. And then we're going to exhale out for 8 counts. Are you ready? So pretend you have a balloon inside your tummy and breathe in nice deep breaths for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold the breath for and now exhale out the breath like you're blowing out birthday candles for 8. Oh, that deep breathing exercise. It's such a wonderful reminder that when we are calm, our life is calmer as well. And now, let's relax our body some more by laughing. And I'm going to pick up my joke book and read to you some knock-knock jokes. So let me turn the page for some new jokes. And here's the first one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Lionel. Lionel who? Lionel bite you if you're not nice to it. Get it? The lion will bite you if you're not nice to it? Okay. All right. I think that's really funny. So here's the second joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Donut. Donut who? Donut ever ask me. It's top secret. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, it's top secret. Donut. Do not ever ask me. Okay, and here's a third joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Chick. Chick who? Check out my new skateboard. Get it? Check out? Check out? Okay. Well, I think it's really funny. Okay, so with that, I'm hoping you're feeling more relaxed with a deep breathing exercise and with the jokes. So now let's read our story called Mr. Funny, and it's written by Roger Hargreaves. And this is what I notice on the front cover. Mr. Funny is like a pale lime green. Then he has on 2 gloves that are yellow, one for his right hand, one for his left hand, and his shoes are white and red. And his hat, it's called a top hat. There's a band of blue closer to his head. And the rest of the hat is yellow. And there's a white flower tucked into the blue band. So let's see what Mr. Funny's life is all about. Mr. Funny lived in a teapot. What? In a teapot? I've never heard of that. Have you? Well, I haven't. So it had 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, and a living room, and it suited Mr. Funny very nicely. Well, let's look at this teapot house. It looks like the outside is brown, and it looks like it has a yellow door with a yellow awning, and it has a red step as you step into it, and the outside is brown, and there's 4 windows, and the bottom window has I think it's like a raspberry pink color for curtains. And the other bottom windows have blue color curtains. Then on top there's pink color curtains and red color curtains. And it looks like there's grass outside and some flowers and trees in behind and clouds, blue sky, and a sun. One day, Mr. Funny was having lunch. He wasn't very hungry, so he only had a daisy sandwich and a glass of toast. Have you ever had a daisy sandwich? I haven't. And have you ever had a glass of toast? I haven't. Delicious, he murmured to himself as he finished his funny lunch. So Mr. Funny had a daisy sandwich. I'm wondering how it's made. I'm wondering if the daisies are on the inside of the sandwich or if the bread is made from daisies. And he had a glass of toast. I wonder if in drinking that, it was dry or if he was able to drink it at all. Well, after lunch, Mr. Funny decided to go for a drive in his car. Mr. Funny's car was a shoe. A shoe car. Have you ever seen a car that looks like a shoe? It looks very funny. You know, I haven't seen a shoe that looks like a car, so there's a first for everything. As he drove along, everybody who saw him laughed at him because he was such a funny sight. Look at the worm. The worm is laughing at Mr. Funny. He passed a worm at the side of the road. The worm thought Mr. Funny in his funny car was the funniest thing he had ever seen. He nearly laughed himself in two. Wow. The worm must have thought that was a really funny sight. Even the flowers Mr. Funny passed thought that he was the funniest thing that they had ever seen. They nearly laughed themselves out of the ground. Look at all the flowers, and they must have been laughing so hard that they almost laughed themselves out of the ground. Eventually, Mr. Funny came to an intersection. He didn't know which way to go, so he looked at the signs. One of the signs said, "To the zoo." That will be fun, thought Mr. Funny. So he drove his shoe towards the zoo. And this is a really funny intersection because it has to the zoo going one way, this way going this way in another sign, that way, another sign, and I'm not quite sure what the third sign says, but the end says way. I've never seen anything like that. When he arrived at the gate of the zoo, he stopped. It was closed. "I'm sorry," said the zookeeper. "We've had to close the zoo because all the animals have colds, and they're all feeling very sorry for themselves." "Oh dear," said Mr. Funny, and then he thought for a moment. "Perhaps I can help to cheer them up," he said. "Well," said the zookeeper, "it's worth a try," and he opened the gate. Mr. Funny drove into the zoo in his shoe. The first thing he saw was an elephant. Oh, look at the elephant. It's bigger than Mr. Funny, and his eyes are half open. It was true, the elephant was feeling very sorry for himself. Very sorry indeed. Mr. Funny looked at the sad-looking elephant, and the sad-looking elephant looked at Mr. Funny. "Oh, dear." Or do we say, "Oh, elephant," because it's an elephant. Get it? It's a joke I made up. Okay, I'll stop. Then, do you know what Mr. Funny did? He made a funny face. Mr. Funny, as you'd imagine, is very good at making funny faces. The elephant giggled. She'd never seen anything so funny. Mr. Funny made another funny face. The elephant burst out laughing. Mr. Funny does kind of look funny. The elephant laughed and laughed and laughed. Oh, look at the elephant. She's laughing. She laughed so hard she nearly laughed her trunk off. And she felt a whole lot better. You know, when I have those big belly laughs, I feel so much better as well. So Mr. Funny went over to the lion house. There was a lion feeling very sorry for himself. Mr. Funny looked at the sad-looking lion, and the sad-looking lion looked at Mr. Funny. Oh dear! The lion doesn't look happy at all. Oh, look at this page! And then Mr. Funny made the funniest looking face that's probably ever been made anywhere. Ever! Now you've heard a lion roar before, haven't you? Well, this lion roared too, with laughter. Look, the lion is laughing. He laughed so hard he nearly laughed his whiskers to pieces. I don't see any whiskers on his face, so he must have laughed them off. Then Mr. Funny went around to see all the Then Mr. Funny went around to see all the other animals in the zoo. Oh dear, what a miserable looking bunch. For all of them, Mr. Funny made funnier and funnier faces. The big brown bear giggled and then burst out laughing. The bear does look like They are laughing really hard. Oh, look at this, a smiling giraffe. And the giraffe laughed so hard, she nearly laughed her neck into a knot. And the hippopotamus nearly laughed himself out of his skin. And the penguins nearly laughed their flippers floppy. And the leopard, well, you really should have seen him. He laughed so hard he nearly laughed his spots off. What craziness! Oh, Mr. Funny, giggled the zookeeper. Oh, Mr. Funny, thank you very, very much for coming to cheer us up. Oh, it was nothing really, replied Mr. Funny, modestly, and drove off. In his shoe! Listen, when Mr. Funny arrived home, he chuckled to himself. Well, he said, that's the end of another funny day. And he parked his shoe and went inside his teapot, and because he was feeling thirsty, he made himself a nice hot cup of cake. Have you ever had a nice hot cup of cake? Well, I shouldn't laugh at that. Now, probably what they're meaning is a nice hot cup of tea, but I've actually made a microwave cake. So I have had a hot cup of cake, but not to drink, but to eat. And it was yummy, by the way. It was chocolate. It was so good. And vanilla. And there's probably other flavors, which I really should try. But what did you think of Mr. Funny? Did you think that he was funny? And what did you think of the animals that at first were very sad, and then they laughed so hard they felt better? Well, let me start off with sharing some jokes so maybe we can keep on with the funny making. Ready? Okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? One. One who? When you grow up, you'll understand. One. Oh, once you grow up, you'll understand. Okay. I hope you find that funny. Next joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Nana. Nana who? None of these clothes fit me. Get it? None of these clothes? None of these clothes? Okay. Here's a third joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Pit. Pit who? Put your shoes on. It's time to go shopping. Oh, I laughed so hard I hiccuped. Get it? Put your shoes on. Put your shoes on. I love jokes that I understand. Okay, now let's do a second deep breathing exercise. And I'll just remind your body that it's time to feel safe and that it's relaxed. So with that, remember how to do it? Let's inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's hold the breath for And now exhale out like you're blowing out birthday candles for 8. Oh, that deep breathing exercise, it's so wonderful. Whenever I do it, I feel relaxed and more comfortable and calmer on the inside. Well, it's been wonderful spending time with you. Remember, I burped. Remember to click on the subscribe button and the bell notification. And it's been so wonderful spending time with you. And it's been so great. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye.